Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we have another exciting chess game to watch. This one was played very recently as a part of a 12th round in Tata Steel Chess tournament in Vaikanze 2025, and it was played between two super grandmasters, Ramesh Babu Praggnanadha from India and Alexei Sarana, a Russian born that currently plays for Serbia. Now what is funny about this game is that the winner of this game end up tying the tournament leader right now, and the last 13th round of this tournament will finish who will be on the first spot. So today will be a live coverage of the 13th round, so hopefully you will be there to watch and see who will won the first place. But this game is truly exciting, you will see it yourself. Amazing sacrifices from both sides, and without further ado we will go straight into the game. Praggnanadha, who was playing as white, started the game with d4. We have knight to f6, c4 for white. After e6, game continued with knight to c3, and after d5 we are in queen's gambit. Queen's gambit declined. C takes on d5, e takes on d5, and we have bishop g5 immediately trying to pin this knight. For now black doesn't worry about that, and he plays c6, simply defending this pawn if the trade happens. Queen goes on c2 for Praggnanadha, bishop e6 for Sarana, and we have e3. White is getting ready to develop this bishop either on e2 or d3. Knight b to d7 for black. For now we have bishop e2, but after bishop d6 Praggnanadha decides that bishop d3 is a better alternative and a better square for this bishop that has a really nice scope on this central square. Game continued with h6 here, simply inviting Pragg to decide what he will do. Will he decide to trade, or will he try and remove his bishop back? Bishop h4 was played for him. g5, Alexei Sarana simply wants to trade the bishops. After bishop g3 we have bishop takes on g3, h takes on g3, and queen to e7. Alexei Sarana is slowly getting ready for a castle, but of course not for short castle but for long castle. As you can see, if black decides to short castle, his position will be really compromised here because he pushed a lot of pawns, he expanded a bit, and now it's not safe to castle short. Game continued with knight to f3. We have g4 attacking Pragg's knight. Pragg decided to play knight to h4, and right now we have knight to b6, another developing move, putting knight on a much better square. And right now this knight is getting ready to invade in this c4 square if it is allowed and when it is time. We have castle for white, a long castle for Alexei Sarana, and right now Praggnanadha immediately strikes with a4. He wants to go for a5, disrupt this knight, and then maybe go for a6 and try and compromise the king's position. Just wanted to show you that in the game king b8 was played, and in this case if you play a5 this is not good, because right now knight to a2 is what follows, and b4 is the idea here that white has. So let's just say h5 here, a random move. In case of b4, now the best computer move is knight to c4, but after bishop takes on c4, d takes on c4, and b takes on a5, now a rook to b1 comes. You are taking the a lead on this b file that is semi-opened, and this king is getting more and more exposed. Also this pawn is weak as well, so that is the reason why after after a4, king to b8 was played. Game continued with a5, immediately attacking this knight. Knight goes on c4, and right now knight to a4 was played for Praggnanadha. This is not a mistake, but not the best move. The best by computer evaluation at least was to play a6 immediately, but now a slow preparation move with knight to a4, getting ready to try and take this square on c5. This knight is not going anywhere, and you will be able to take it whenever you want to. We have knight to d6 now played for black. Black now takes another approach. He probably wants to go with knight to e4 here and try and maybe stop the attack with this knight aiming at this b5 square. We have knight to c5. Pragg takes this square. a6. White decided to defend that no longer b4 and b5 is no longer a possibility. Simply black will defend when queen b3 comes with bishop to c8, and he will try and hold this position. Game continued with rook f to c1, another preparation and developing move. We have bishop to c8, sort of a preparatory move that black now expects white to start an attack. And indeed queen to b3 was played, and right now of course this pawn is pinned and white can take it, and black in this position played knight to b5, and as you can see from the evaluation bar, this is a mistake. The reason why it is a mistake that this idea doesn't stop knight takes on a6 with a check. Because right now after b takes on a6 you have to take, because after knight takes on a6, if you avoid taking, we will simply go with our knight back and we will continue with a6 with a complete devastation of the position. So after b takes on a6 we have rook takes on c6. Right now this knight is pinned, this pawn will be hanging, and this after this knight is taken, queen takes on b5 with a checkmate threat. So the position is really difficult. A surprising mistake by Alex and Sarana here. We have a rook to d7 here, we're trying to protect the 7th rank. Now a slow move and a preparatory move, you want to bring your another piece to the game. You don't need to rush taking anything with knight to f5. Queen is attacked, queen goes on d8, and right now we have bishop takes on b5, and after a takes on b5, in this position Pragg finds the best move, and it is not queen picking up on b5, it is actually a6. I will show you why a6 is better than queen taking up on b5. Simply with a6 we are now not allowing this king to have any breathing space. We are also preparing to take queen takes on b5 with almost a checkmating attack, and this king, as you can see now, can only run on a file. This c file is taken, and you don't want to allow any kind of counterplay with bishop b7 or rook b7 that will somehow help black survive this position. So let's say after a takes on b5 that queen takes on b5 is played. I mean, this is not a mistake, white is still better, but rook b7 for example, rook to b6, queen to d7, queen b4, and after that knight to e4. As you can see that black is still holding this position, although the previous position was much better, which Pragg found in the game. So we will now go back to our position with let's go back. So we are here. So now a6 was played properly, the right move. Rook to a7 is played. Now let's see what other possibilities black had here. If you decide to take with your bishop, then we take with our c rook here, and let's say you play something like a rook to b7. There is no way of stopping the checkmate with queen to c3. We are threatening rook to a8 checkmate. Sorry, rook to a8 checkmate. And now let's say you are forced to give up your rook to postpone a checkmate. So after queen to c3, and of course in this position after this move, if let's say you play a random move, as I mentioned, a rook to a8 is a checkmate. So now we will have to go back and let's see what else is there. After a6, rook to a7 was played. Now Praggnanadha picks up this pawn with queen takes on b5 and a check. Now this king doesn't have many options here in the game. King to a8 was played. Let's see what other possibilities black might have had here. Let's say bishop b7. This is not good because now recommended line is knight to d6, slow move that simply puts even more pressure on this bishop, and eventually black will collapse. Let's say queen to e7, then rook a to c1. You're threatening to give this check here and a checkmate. So now let's say queen to d8 defends this. Now with a takes on b7, checkmate in a few moves is unstoppable, and you simply lose the game. Now we will go, of course, back. So after queen to b5, let's say rook to b7 is played. After a takes on b7, let's say bishop takes on b7, queen to c5, a really sneaky move. You are threatening checkmate. So let's say now bishop takes on c6, and after queen takes on c6, there is no way of stopping the checkmate threats. A lot of checkmate threats. So whatever you do, first checkmate threat is rook to a8. And there is nothing you can do. You can sacrifice your queen. This doesn't work as well. Rook to a8 and queen to a8 are both checkmates. So that is why this is a really difficult position to play in. So king to a8 was played in the position. Knight to d6, Pragg saw that this is the best move of the position, bringing another piece into the attack, and now threatening to take this bishop on c8. And now we are coming to the final move of the game, which was bishop to d7, which is another mistake here by Alexis Sarana, because right now after queen to b7, Alexis Sarana resigned because there is no way of stopping the checkmate. You have to take this, and after a takes on b7 check, you cannot take this pawn. You have to go on b8, and rook to a8 is a checkmate. So after bishop d7 is a huge mistake. Let's go back and let's see after knight to d6. What else was there here? What is the computer recommendation here? Computer recommendations was actually to go for h5 here, as black simply wait for white's moves and to actually give up your exchange here. After knight takes, rook takes, and now after e4 you cannot take this with your knight here, because queen takes on d5 and you will lose your knight. So this is not a possibility. Rook a to c7 is recommended, but after e5 and knight to d7, queen takes on d5 with a almost 6 points advantage, 6 pawns of advantage for white, and this is a completely lost game here. So this was basically the only way to sort of save this position, if you can consider this saved, because as you can see, white has like 4 pawns of advantage, plus he has one exchange up, and this is just a rook up, and there is no way you can ever save this game, especially playing someone as strong as Praggnanadha. Now after this game, both Praggnanadha and his countryman, the world champion, are tied for the first spot with 8.5 points. I'm really glad that Praggnanadha had such a wonderful tournament. Arjun Erugaisi didn't played that well this tournament. He's one of the last at the bottom of the brackets there. Unfortunately, not a great tournament for him, but both Gukesh and Praggnanadha really had amazing tournaments, and today will decide who will be the winner of this tournament. So yeah, this was all for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. A wonderful game and a wonderful performance by Ramesh Babu Praggnanadha. Truly a spectacular player. Really looking forward for his future, and of course for the future of all Indian chess here, because they are really strong and they should continue with a lot of amazing games in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see each other on the next day. Bye bye.